let's talk about wood. Perhaps you're thinking about building a wood pergola for your backyard patio. Perhaps you consider yourself a DIYer. Perhaps your neighbor Dave has a wood pergola over his patio and you found yourself feeling envious. But wouldn't it be great to flex on your neighbor Dave a bit? Dave's wood pergola may look great. He built it himself and it elevated his backyard experience. But, and there is a big but, Dave's wood pergola can't open and close. It won't last more than a few years before he has to stain it again, and it's not nearly as strong or durable as some other options available. Dave also had to spend a fortune on lumber and wasted a few precious summer weekends with wrong measurements, getting splinters, being covered in sawdust, and maybe even getting tetanus. But you're savvier than that, and you don't have tetanus. But let's back up a bit. Let's dive into all of your pergola material options. Those fall into 4 categories, primarily pergolas made of wood, vinyl, steel, or aluminum. Now wood, it's a pretty common one. It is a popular choice among DIYers. Wood pergolas certainly look great, but they can be a serious headache after a few years. If you want your wood pergola to live any longer than 5 years, expect to clean, reseal, and stain it about once a year. And even with the best care, you're only looking at maybe 10 years before it needs to be replaced. And no, treated wood won't do much better. That nice treated wood from a lumber yard will still fade, warp, and rot into mulch after a while. But hey, once your pergola rots away, you'll save a few bucks the next time you need to do your landscaping. Vinyl is a newer material in the pergola space in the grand scheme of things. It's primarily made with the treated wood core. Now we're not talking about the treated wood you saw back in the day. In fact, changes were made to the chemical preservatives in the early 2000s, stemming from health concerns around the use of arsenic. The chemical is called CCA, short for chromated copper arsenate. The old treated lumber would last up to 40 years if cared for. The newer stuff is treated with ACQ, alkaline copper quaternary. And while safe, it only lasts about 10 years if maintained. Now these numbers are based on outdoor decks and fences, situations where the wood can breathe and water can easily evaporate off of it. When the wood is wrapped in vinyl, it cannot breathe, and the water gets trapped in the wood, which accelerates decay and rotting. Even with a wood core, vinyl pergolas are still the weakest of the common 4 materials. The real benefit of a vinyl pergola is that shiny bright finish. They're a great match if you have vinyl siding on your home or maybe a vinyl composite deck. But don't be fooled by the websites telling you they last a lifetime. Along with the decaying wood, the vinyl can turn brittle in the hot sun, causing it to crack and fade. And snow loads can cause sagging and warping in the material. Overall, you can expect vinyl to last roughly about 10 to 15 years at best before needing replacement. On to steel. We typically see these imported from China, made with thin steel that rusts extremely fast. While these steel pergolas are typically inexpensive and somewhat strong, they're not built to last. The paint is typically roll coated, which cannot take a beating of the elements like a powder coating can. Now the last material we'll talk about in this video is aluminum. Now as a company that manufactures aluminum pergolas, we may seem biased, because we are. But the facts are the facts. Aluminum is the smartest choice, but not all aluminums are created equally. There are 2 main forms of aluminum used in pergolas: roll form and extruded. With roll form, you take a thin sheet of aluminum, like your house gutters, and bend it into the shape you want. It is definitely cheaper, but is not nearly as strong as extruded aluminum. Roll form aluminum is also always roll coated, never powder coated. Why, you may ask? The aluminum is honestly too thin to handle the heat a powder coat would require. As mentioned earlier, a roll-coated finish will not last. You're also very limited on roll form pergolas. They don't offer any louver movement, so just like wood or vinyl pergolas, you cannot close the roof to keep the sun and rain out. Extruded aluminum, on the other hand, is a much better choice for building a pergola. That's why we only use extruded aluminum here at the Luxury Pergola. Our high-grade material allows our pergolas to have a motorized roof that opens and closes with the touch of a button. They're also strong enough to hold up a snow load equivalent to 2 F-150s. And our paint? Of course, we offer the highest grade powder coating available. There are 3 main types of outdoor powder coat. A standard durability powder coat will get you about 2 years of fade resistance. So that's the first one. Second one is going to be the AAMA, spelled AAMA, 2604. That will get you about 5 years of fade resistance. We use AAMA 2605, which we guarantee to have a 10-year fade resistance, even on the beach in Florida. Well, why doesn't every company use the high-end stuff? Well, because it's expensive. The standard durability powder coating, which is the most common, costs about $2 per pound of powder. Our AMA 2605 powder coating costs about $35 per pound. It also has to go through extensive pre-treat and powder processes to ensure quality, something you don't see with standard durability powder coat. Not only do our aluminum pergolas last a lifetime, and I mean a lifetime, they can also stand up to the elements much better than any of the other common materials. I'm talking an 8,000 pound snow load and 160 mile/hour winds at the same time. In conditions like that, well, you can just say goodbye to your wood or vinyl pergola. And look, we're so confident in our aluminum pergolas that we back them with a lifetime warranty. So when you are planning your backyard upgrade project, make the smart choice. Give us a call at 317-597-2545 and show Dave the right way to make a pergola.